Hi, I'm Captain Grant Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Well, guys, it's good to be back. I've been a little under the weather lately, but we're back in business and we're rolling good. Over here, just north of the causeway, we've been catching some good black drum uh, in these channels all through here, going into the boat hole. Uh, the tides have been extremely low, so these channels stick out like a sore thumb. They're real easy to see. This time of year is the time where you want to come in here and mark all these edges, so you have them on your GPS whenever you come and fish this in the spring when the tide comes up. We're just fishing on the bottom, live shrimp if you can find it. Of course, live bait's a little hard to find, but if you just want to put the trolling motor down and drift through these channels, we're catching some good trout too. Nothing monstrous, but just keepers on anything white with a paddle tail. Over here around PETA, we've been catching some good fish. Just a mixed bag of trout, reds, and drum all through here, fishing the deep water. Normally, what I do in here is I drift. I'll put the trolling motor down, but on those windier, nastier days, I've been power pulling down or even just anchor from the bow and let that current rip through there. Make sure your baits are landing in the channel, which, like I said earlier, is real easy to see. And just let that current rip through there and catching tons of drums, some oversized, but mainly just keepers with an occasional mixed in redfish and trout to go with those drum. Back here in the canals, we've been catching good fish. This is the time of year to do it when we get these cold fronts coming through and it drops that water temperature. Come back here, find those thermoclines, find where that warm water is. All these insulated canals. People got their heaters running. You got concrete insulating all these canals. And the water really doesn't flux in here very much. So it stays warmer longer and takes a lot longer for this water to cool down than your shallow bay water. So we've been catching some really good fish in here, both trout and reds. You kind of just got to find the bait. When you find the bait, you find the fish. And everything we're catching back here is on lures. And what we're using the most are those paddle tails. But you can throw a corky slow along the edge, or just like a broken back in a dark color. Also, we've been throwing a few of those jerk bait, the gulp jerk bait down low, white, or the pearl is working real good. Over here, just west of Penascal, all the way through marker 9, we've been catching good fish in these deeper rocks. The tide has been extremely low, which is normal this time of year. But if you come out here into 3 to 5 foot of water, and you'll see that edge, it's so visible. What I want to say is, when you come in here, just be careful because there are rocks all through here. And if you fish this during the summertime, the springtime, or even the fall, you get a false illusion of being able to skim over the top of those rocks. And this time of year, you're playing Russian roulette if you're going to come in here like you do in the summer. So what I recommend is when you come out of that Rivera channel and you come down here, I know it's like a 200, maybe even a 300 yard idle. Go ahead and do that because you're safe, better safe than sorry. But once you get in here, you can actually start your drift on the edge of the channel and drift all the way to the drop off. That's where all the fish are going to be anyway. Just once you finish your drift, don't jump up on plane and run back to the channel. I know it's hard to do sometimes because you get excited because you're catching fish, you make that drift. Go ahead and just idle on out. Once you get to the channel, run up the channel, make another drift through those rocks. And you may have some of them marked on your GPS, and some of them you may not. On a calm, clear day, though, as you go through there and you see the rocks, go ahead and mark those on your GPS. But this whole section in here is really good right now. And we're catching trout, we're catching reds, we're catching drum. live shrimp if you can find them. If not, just throw those white paddle tails and you'll catch plenty of good fish. Up here in Compuerto, we've been catching good drum, mostly on the real windy, nasty days when that cold front has hit and you come down here and it's blowing 20, 30 miles out of the north. Those are the days we've been really just stacking them up in here. And on the nicer days, hopefully not bluebird, but there's a few clouds and a little bit of wind. We've been able to get out here and drift through the Badlands. If there's enough water on top of this little scar up here, you can drift that. Just be careful because it is super shallow right here. A lot of guys wade fishing for the big trout. Of course, the tide's low, but all through Point of Rocks has been good for the wade fishing. Guys catching big trout on corkies. I've been in here not really throwing corkies, but power pulled down around the rocks, fishing about 3 foot of water off the rocks, just throwing a live shrimp on the bottom, catching mixed bags, drum, reds, and trout.
I'm Captain Grant Coppin. Thanks for watching.